Shane and I were back out on the trail for one last trip of the season. Shane has been wanting to backpack with his old boss, Teresa, who's an avid backpacker and really knows the off-trail areas of Immigrant Wilderness. We also got to meet Teresa's husband, Steve, and some of their really cool friends on this trip. It was just a 2-night trip for Shane and I. We started at Crabtree, one of our favorite Immigrant Wilderness trailheads. The first day, we hiked about 9 miles to Rosasco Lake, where we met up with the rest of the group. Wait until you see the last climb. Teresa calls it the Golden Staircase. I thought of a few different words than golden when we were going up it. We awoke to a beautiful, still morning at Rosasco Lake. After enjoying the sun come up we headed off to our next destination. Big Lake was about 3 miles away. We would get our first view of the Granite Bowl. Since we had such a short hike to Big Lake, Shane and I went on a day hike through the Granite Bowl to Hyatt Lake to check it out. It is one of Teresa's favorite lakes in Immigrant. It was about 5 miles round trip.
Woo. How is it?
Ooh, it's chilly.
Yep. Nice. That was a good one. It's pretty chilly, huh?
This area of Immigrant Wilderness isn't known for good fishing. We did not see a lot of fish at Rosasco and Big Lakes. However, we saw some nice fish cruising at Hyatt. I can't wait to come back and try some fishing here. Shane and I had a long hike ahead of us. We decided to take the pack trail out. It was about 1.5 to 2 miles longer than the route we came in, but we would avoid going back down the Golden Staircase. The hike ended up being 13.5 miles. That's a long day. Next time, I'm going to try the Golden Staircase out. That was a fun trip. The thunderstorms were chasing us all the way out, but we stayed ahead of them. It was great to finally get to meet Teresa and Steve. They really know how to have fun backpacking. We learned a lot from them. Teresa, Shane, and I were already planning a trip for next season to do some more exploring in the immigrant wilderness. I can't wait.